Good evening, truck and tractor pool fans. We're back after a week off. That was my fault. I had a pretty good time, so I had a really good time with some things, but we won't get in on this channel. But anyway, uh, yeah, this Dwayne, you probably didn't hear. We'll discuss it after the show.
I heard enough. I know what you're talking about.
Okay, but anyway,
Sounds
yeah,
pretty
it's crazy.
cool.
Oh yeah, my gosh. Yes. Anyway, yeah, we're truck and tractor pulling. We hope to be truck and tractor pulling this coming weekend. Hope. You know, it can't rain when you really need to rain like right now. It's got to push the limits to the weekend. So, got our fingers crossed. But by all means, all events are still a go this weekend. Anyway, we're gonna Kendra, how are you this evening? How's that?
I am wonderful.
Kendra, let me just say something about Kendra tonight.
Oh boy.
Kendra usually is a workaholic and is usually within a couple minutes of coming in backstage right before we go live. I finally came in here, sat down after brewing a cup of stuff that will burn your tongue off right now. And she was already backstage waiting at quarter up.
I know.
I was
Look
like,
at me.
Wow.
Awesome.
It's called growth.
I figured, well, I'll click over and go in the studio, and I'm going to see Dwayne's usually the first one in waiting. No Dwayne, but Kendra was there waiting, so that was pretty cool.
Well,
Kendra, roles have been reversed. Maybe that'll throw something off in the atmosphere and push the rain away this weekend.
Oh,
perfect.
Good commitment, Kendra.
Yeah.
Perfect.
That was an exciting 2 weeks.
Good commitment to the show, not so much to my job, but it'll be all right.
Anyway, I had to throw. I got buttons over here that I'm itching to push, but.
Mike Walker's was that applause for David and Mike and April and Craig.
Yeah.
Got a whole crew coming on.
Whole crew coming on. Absolutely. Good evening, April. David Kaufman. Mikkel. How are you, Walker? Stay tuned, Walker. We're still a go for Saturday. So, but anyway,
Mike, the announcer side Walker.
What's that?
Mike, the announcer's side Walker.
Yeah.
Yes, he was this time around. You're right. You're right. Usually that's me, but
I gave him a middle name.
He has several, but some we can't say on here.
Yeah,
we'll let it alone. But yes, Randy, it's we can't fuss about rain, especially right now. You walk out in our yard and fields here, and it's like crunching underneath your feet. It's so freaking dry. And a month or so ago, we were swamped. It's crazy how weather works, but it'll get better. And Mother Nature's going to do what she does. So, how are you, Dwayne? How's everything going with you?
Oh, pretty good. Still recovering from the Beast of the East weekend. Actually, more of the heat, but yeah, I'm doing fine. Just trying to get all my work done this weekend because I'm headed up to Glen Iron, which is just down the road from West End this weekend to do some work on a friend's cabin. So hopefully we can get two birds with one stone. Hopefully we can get the work done and take a tractor pull in while we're there.
How convenient. Would you like a video camera? Tripod?
I might as well just throw one in. I'm there.
Where's Clint been hiding? Clint used to be a regular on here. Probably busy trucking, I guess. But yeah, we got a few events to go over here. Obviously, the big one will be the Beast of the East event. Again, we're falling back 2 weeks ago, but 2 weekends ago for Beast of the East. Dwayne has some results. We're going to start off with him from the Kempton, Pennsylvania event. And yes, it does, Clint. You have no idea. Well, actually, obviously you do. But Kendra is going to cover Deep Creek and Numidia. So
at least we're going to jump classes for those.
Yeah, we're going to jump around a little bit, but we will get started with Dwayne, and we'll let him. I guess I should ask you too. Any ramblings, any rumors or anything that's come in the last couple of weeks in the pulling world? I will say for me, none, because I have talked to no one.
No,
So.
I have not heard anything. Nothing that can be shared, of course, but
Some squirrel pickup stuff.
yeah,
Yeah,
you
there's
know,
always
secret squirrel stuff.
yeah, there's always something going on.
No, I think everybody's just kind of in the oh crap moment of looking at the schedule. You know, we've kind of had the nice, you know, pull here, pull there, pull here, and then you know you look at July and it's every Friday and Saturday now for plus then throw in some weekend pulls, and it's like
It's time.
time to
I'm
get our
tired.
butts in gear.
I'm tired of
Yep.
the heat already. I know that.
Yeah.
I will say one thing. I saw a photo of the attitude adjuster, all dressed up outside in the parking lot of Phil's place, and spit shined up and ready to go with a new power plant out front. I hear. So that's another modified we're going to be seeing probably, hopefully, this Saturday at Boonesboro. So glad to see Phil the Thrills. I've always called him Phil the Thrill. Come out back on the East Coast tour again. So
Hopefully with a whole lot of attitude.
yep. Phil's Phil. You know, you stop and think about it. And I dug out some old reel to reel. When I say reel to reel, I'm talking about the smaller tape from the cameras with Phil Jones on them. Now Phil's been doing this a long time, so it'd be good to see him back out running with us. Dwayne, have at it, brother.
All right. I'm going to start with Friday, June the 14th at Kempton Fair. It was a pull-off production sanctioned event. And I'm just going to go the classes in order that I have them listed here. They're not in order in the way they ran.
That's fine.
The first class I have here is Hot Farm. In first place was Brian Morrison with a shed shaker with a 339.45. In second place was Jeremy DeLuca with a Sunset Smoker case. He had a 324.31. In third place was Nick Morrison driving Toxic with a 311.52. In fifth place was Nelson Hastings with a Ford 9000, had a 299.48. And in sixth place was Doug Heyman with Bull's Binder, and something didn't go well, and he had a 50.03. So those were
That's very uncharacteristic.
Yeah, it was.
He lost the turbocharger.
Yes, that's what it was.
Yep, turbo.
Thanks for reminding me on that.
Went back home and put another turbo on for your pool Saturday night.
Yes, because I remember yelling at him as he got towed past me, "Get that thing fixed up. We got a pool tomorrow night." And he nodded his head. The next class is 26 Pro Street Diesel 4x4. In first place was Nick Kinnaman with the Devil's Hooker Dodge with a 341.33. In second place was Tom Hasser with Something Twisted. He had a 327.74. Sorry. In third place was Chris Lloyd in a Dodge with a 326.47. In fourth place was Derek Smith driving the limited time Dodge with a 323.04. In fifth place was David Heller in a Chevy called Iron Will with a 309.97. In sixth place was Jesse Young with the Gray Area Ford, had a 306.58. In seventh place was David Heller with I think a new truck that he just brought out called the Outlaw, and had a 270.33. He's dealing with a little bit of fueling issues. The next class up was the Light Pros.
Another Outlaw truck?
Mm-hmm.
Another Outlaw. Okay.
Yeah, he calls it the Outlaw. It's a Chevy that has like orange and gray graphics on it. It's pretty neat. Yeah, he brought both of them trucks out to the pool and ran them and crewed them by himself. The next class up was the Light Pros. There was 4 tractors in the class. In first place was Cody Utt with the Storm. He had a 321.11. In second place was Jeff Michelocci with Demented. He had a 311.76. In third place was Kevin Utt on Rollin' Thunder with a 309.22. In fourth place was Eli Zimmerman on driving Red Fever with a 385.61. Next class was modified two-wheel drive trucks. And do you know who got first place, JR?
I do. It's the only reason Dwayne wanted to go over this class tonight.
Oh, 2.6. Oh.
No. In the modified two-wheel drive class.
Oh, mod two-wheel drive. Absolutely. Yeah, that was. It wasn't a turbo. I'm sorry, it wasn't a supercharged truck.
Yes, sir. In first place was Trent Best with the best bet Ford T-Bucket with a 313.17. In second place was Irv Clark driving the Wild Side with a 291.07. In third place was Irv Clark with Taz Toy, and I think he blew a motor. He had a 180.52, and
he put a rod out.
Yep.
Put a rod out. So
fourth place was DJ Bowker. I can never get it right. On Rolling Thunder, he was test hook and came back for a rehook, and he was down a cylinder, so they scratched it. So he has no footage. So, and I switched up a little bit. I lied. The last class of the evening was the 3.0 class, and in first place was a truck that I put a lot of blood, sweat.
Do we really have to hear about it? Do we really? It's bad enough the one above you to your left.
She's always rooting for the pickle, so I guess I'm gonna have to root for
it was awesome to hear. Please, Dwayne, continue.
In first place was Matt Horse with Pushing the Limit with a 332.87, and that was a pretty exhilarating run for us, especially since there was $1,000 in cash on the line.
You were in the dictionary before the show, weren't you? Exhilarating.
Yeah. It was a little bit tense because we were the third hook of 10 trucks, and it took a while to get through those other 7. Second place was Mark Andrews driving Public Enemy at a 329.91. In third place was Chuck Dutter with the Common Hooker. He had a 326.94. In fourth place was Kyle Spickerman driving Old Jenny. He had a 326.03. In fifth place was Sam Heimbach with the White Ford. She had a 322.95. In sixth place was Jeremy Grick driving Older Jenny. He had a 322.48. And in seventh place was Matt Holbrook driving Jenny Light. He had a 322.38. So we had 3 322-foot runs in a row there. In eighth place was Rich Wolf driving a truck called Last Minute. He had a 318.57. In ninth place was Greg Walker with Dreams Happen. Had a 317.77. And in 10th place was Dave Jacobs from Falls Village, Connecticut, driving a Dodge Power Wagon with a 307.62. And he had some kind of issue with the engine that I guess he decided to head back home again. And yeah, hopefully it wasn't too bad. So that's what I have for Kempton on Friday night. No sound, JR.
You're muted.
I was muted.
There you go.
There's a weather channel that I watch, a storm chasing team, Reed Timmer and them.
Nice.
And Brian, their guy that's back at, we'll call headquarters at the desk. He'll come on all the time. Can't hear a word because he realizes it, he'll throw his head back. But anyway, strike one for me. Yeah, huge pool. Huge night at Beast of the East. 2 tracks at the Lebanon Area Fairgrounds in Lebanon, Pennsylvania, put on by that guy right there. There he is. There.
And the rest of the
Dwayne,
crew.
Matt Ballmer, and the rest of the crew. Yeah. And they put on great shows there. If you have not been to a Beast of the East event, it must be put on your to-do list. Please go support these guys. Wonderful show, and sometimes Dwayne's antics at the end of the track are quite comical. So, but anyway,
Hey, I had my own. I had my own personal. I had my own personal TikToks put out there already in the past.
Oh, jeez.
It's called
Okay.
Flagger Antics. No, I don't know.
Tiger antics. But 5 classes on the. It was 5 classes on the announcer side, and 4 classes over on what we'll call the pit side, or I guess it could be called what, the east or west, north and south track. It was the track I was filming.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to go ahead and start. That was the biggest class of the night to open the night on that track. Wild Street diesel trucks. And there was quite a slew of them, to the total of 29. 29 Wild Street trucks registered. Damn.
Yeah, it was a big class. It was a big class. I was a little bit concerned that we might have some issues having that many trucks, but I think it went off pretty smooth. We had a couple of guys that were a no-show right at the end because they had mechanical issues, but other than that, really nice class.
Yeah. Anyway, taking the big win, and I say big win when you're fighting against X amount of that many trucks, that's a big win. Todd Young, with his 2008 Ford F-250 at 341.58, taking the win. That's a big win there. Second was Dylan Rupp with the 08 Ford at 336.32. Third, Ben Jelsinger with his 05 GMC at 334.54. The writing is so difficult here for me, I got to use a paper to make sure I get it all right here. Fourth place was Clyde Weaver with a 2017 Ford F-250 Burgundy Platinum. That's a pretty truck. 332.94. Fifth was Nate Rupp with his 04 Dodge at 330.22. Sixth was Ashley Hassler. That would be the wife of Tommy Hassler. With their white 2016 Ford F-250 IC called Crybaby Maker is the name of the truck here on my sheet. Crybaby Maker. Hassler, if you're lingering around here, that's pretty funny. 327.80. Yeah. Seventh was Luke Hanford with his 2010 Dodge at 324.01. Eighth was Dustin Minturn, I believe it is, at Leland, North Carolina. Yeah. With his 07 Silverado at 323.08. And ninth was Lindahl Steiner with his white 06 Dodge at 322 and 46th. Rounding out the top 10, Andrew Weaver with the 2003 Dodge 2500 at 321.12. We're going to keep going a little while here. I don't know if we'll go all 20 some. We'll go a little further here. 11th was David Hurst with his 05 Dodge at 318.90. Very competitive. The distances are pretty close here. 12th was Jansen Rohrer with his 97 Dodge, 314.31. 13th was Aaron Nemes. I'm assuming 99 Dodge, 313.86. 14th was Brody Spickler, and I'm going to talk about that. 242. When I see the word Spickler and I see the town Elizabethtown, Galen Spickler and the other Spickler family from Elizabethtown for many, many years pulled modified tractors at the Buck back in the day. So I have to assume that Brody Spickler is a spinoff from the same town pulling a diesel truck. Would I be correct? Do you know, Dwayne? Or
I have no idea.
We're going to have to dig into that and find out.
The Galen Spickler name is very familiar to me because of them classic tractor pulling pictures that I had. But
Galen Spickler, Gene Spickler, and of course it falls into Richard Zimmerman was part of that, which now Tom Zimmerman, that was his dad, it pulls and works for Dave Greek and helps pull the semis some. So, yeah, so I have to dig into that. David Kaufman, you're supposed to know this stuff. You've been around as long as we have, in the stuff. 15th was Trevor Reif with the truck called the Peasant, a white 2500 02 Ram at 308.30. 16th was Lamar Hoover with his 2011 Ford at 307.32. 17th was Devin Hostetter with a 2017 Silverado at 304.52. 18th was Darren Hoover with his 03 Silverado, 303.66. Number 19, Austin Yingling with his Dodge Ram, an 06 at 293.72. And rounding out the top 20, we'll probably call it there. And that's going to be Michael Garman with his 05 Ford at 293 and 30. So, again,
So
we can still go almost another 10 trucks to finish that class out. But anyway.
Some of the reason we had so many trucks, for the people online that don't know, we partnered with a couple of guys that did a show called the 717 Truck Showdown, and they awarded points for highest horsepower in the dyno, drag racing, and truck pulling. And they partnered with Beast of the East for the sled pulling part of their Triple Crown, I guess we'll call it. And the winner for that was Dustin Minturn from North Carolina, came and won the overall points for that and won the big money.
Oh,
And then coming in
okay.
second place was David Hurst. Davey Hurst with the white Dodge got second place. So those were the top two performers on that three-part event.
That's pretty cool. I made the ride from North Carolina a little better.
Yeah,
A little easier. That's cool.
I had asked him when he came to the end of the track how long it took him to get to Lebanon, PA, and he said 8 hours. So he had quite the drive to get there.
Wow. Yep. You want to go ahead and do the 3.0 limited pro stock trucks, Dwayne?
Sure. Let me find them.
Same track.
All right. Yep. I actually don't have them in order. I just have it. All right. 3.0 limited pro stock coming in at first place was Mark Andrews with a Public Enemy Ford with a 319.32. In second place was Matt Horst with the Pushing the Limit Dodge with a 318.62. And Mark and Matt swapped places from Friday night to Saturday. So Matt was first and Mark was second. And now Mark was first and Matt was second. Coming in at third place was Kyle Spickerman with the old Jenny with a 315.48. In fourth place was Tim Myers, one of the crew of the Dreams Happen truck. He had a 314.88. In fifth was Chuck Dutter from with the Common Hooker with a 314.26. In sixth place was Sam Heimbach with the White Ford with a 313.74. Seventh place was Jeremy Grick with the older Jenny with a 283.64. And in eighth place was April Holbrook, Matt's wife, I guess.
Yes.
With Jenny Light. She had a 198.52, and she had catastrophic failure in the front axle or drive line, and it ended pretty abruptly.
It was singing pretty good at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think she didn't realize what happened and didn't let off the throttle right away. So it was a little bit cringy for a while.
Yeah.
I was really waving the red flag to try to get her to shut down, but it stopped. It was fine.
Okay. Now we're going to move into the very first ever East Coast Pro Pulling class at Beast of the East. That would be the East Coast Diesel 4x4 trucks. You got, an interesting truck to talk about here towards the end of the class. But wow, all I can say is wow. Taking the win, how about it, huh? I don't think there's a single soul standing by that track other than a couple drivers that I know of that would not jump up and down for this guy for winning. Herman Zimmerman, huh? How about it? Herman Zimmerman with the new,
said we all were.
Absolutely. With the 85 GMC Outlaw truck at 340.92, taking his first ever East Coast Pro Pulling win. Congratulations, Kervin. Well earned. Well deserved.
We were all looking for the big thing of Gatorade to dump over his head. We were very disappointed we didn't have one of those.
The Gatorades were in the cooler right next to me behind the concrete block, actually next to Mike Walker.
Yeah.
It had a lot of ice water in it.
I'm sure he wouldn't have minded.
Yeah.
I'm sure he was. I didn't get a chance to really talk to him until I was driving out when we were leaving.
I told him I was going to cut him off.
Yeah, that's what he said.
He's been eating with us here a good bit. And I fed him a second smash burger. I said, no more.
That's the first thing he told me when we stopped to, talk to him. He was standing there talking to somebody. He goes, "Hey, Kendra's not going to feed me no more." I thought, oh boy.
There we go. Tommy just said they got a cooler pack for him next time.
Good deal, Tommy. That's awesome. Anyway, second place, Norman Newswanger with the Chapter 11 Ford at 331.08. Third was Carl Ankiewicz with the Living on the Edge Dodge at 327.10. Fourth was James Barter with the Barter Turbo Service Ford at 317.94. I'm looking at the wrong camera. That's not the one over there that works anymore. Anyway, fifth was Jeremy Denson with the Two Disturbed Dodge at 316.88. Sixth was you, Mr. Hassler, Tom Hassler, with the Twisted Addiction Ford at 277.30. Dag nabbit
with
hop.
The Twisted Addiction bunny rabbit.
Yes, dadgummit.
We had a couple of trucks that showed.
Rounding out the class and number 7, wow, was Justin Gordon with the out of line Ford at 129.30. And I will tell you what, I've seen some trucks come apart driveline wise before. That one came apart. Wow. Both front wheels gone. Body damage. It really sucks.
It was hung up on the sled pan.
Yeah. Craig Cooper said it had a little bit of a lunge, and I released a short of the video, and plus the class is out there too, on YouTube. But it really didn't hop drastically, but it had just a little bit of a lunge. I noticed, and that's when the right tire, and of course the left tire went, and everything went to hell quick there since. But Justin will be back, I'm sure. And the truck sounded really strong off the line. I was very impressed how strong that truck sounded off the line. So he's on to something. We just got to find all the weak points down and get them fixed. So,
yeah, we were gonna try to keep one side moving at the time, but we decided because of when something like that happens, there's a lot of pit crew and people that want to help, and there was too many people coming close to the track or onto the track, and for safety issues, we decided that we would shut it down and at least try to get it moved off the track, and it didn't take too long. I mean, we had to take a little bit of time to try to get the truck off of the top of the sled pan, and then once we got it off the sled pan, then the rear end was kind of locked up and didn't want to release. But we ended up taking it off with a loader in the front and a little loader in the back, and eventually the driveline freed up, so it rolled off.
Yeah. So, Dwayne, before you get into hot farm, I'll let you answer Mr. Cooper's question.
He broke off 2 tires. How's that possible? Well, the truck was running a Dana 60 front axle, and the ball joints aren't very strong on a Dana 60, and those cut tires overpowered the ball joints, and when one side left loose, it torqued the wheel backwards, and I think it jammed the universal joint, which locked the other side, and it immediately snapped the ball joints on the other side, and at that point both tires left the truck. So it also
did some damage.
Yeah, it also broke the drive shafts off of the drop box on both front and back. It twisted the rear drive shaft, and there's a possibility that it trashed his rear ring and pinion in that axle.
Yeah.
But the truck, feel really, really bad for a guy that came out for the first time this year and literally totally trashed the entire truck. I mean, the beds were dented in, the front axle, the cab, everything just took a beating, in the sled. Yeah, not good. So hopefully he can come.
I know Justin will be back, and we wish him quick repair and recovery.
So if anybody feels really bad for him, we can get you his address if you want to send him money. Because
I'm
it
sure-
looks like a costly endeavor.
Absolutely. And you want to go ahead and finish this out with the hot farm there, Dwayne, if you want to.
I can do that. All right.
Hometown boy.
Look at that. 466 Hot Farm. In first place, Nick Morrison on Toxic with a 326.78. In second place was Ray Norris, driving a John Deere called Pack and Heat with a 325.72, right on his tail. In third place, Luke Gladhill from driving Weapon X, John Deere called Weapon X with 320.82. And fourth
Fantastic.
place,
Not to interrupt, that was a fantastic run for Luke. That's the best I've seen that tractor run. Yep.
yes, I was pretty impressed with those runs. Fourth place was Brian Morrison with the Shed Shaker, had a 316.28 on a off the shelf turbo, spare turbo. I'm not sure, but he had to put a new turbo on because of Friday night. Fifth place was Lawrence Heyman, driving Bulls Binder, had a 314. Did I say that wrong? It was Bulls Binder that blew the turbo. My bad. Right. One back. It was Bulls Binder that blew the turbo, had a 314.90. In sixth place was Mike Moreland on a red IH, had a 314.70.
It's actually Digging Deep is the name of the track. They don't have it on the sheet.
But yeah, I'm not sure why it's on there. Seventh place was Ray Norris, driving well armed with a 312.38. In eighth place was Paul Richardson with the Oliver
buzzard bait
with a 304.52. That was eighth. Ninth was Paul Richardson with Venomous, had a 300.54. And at 10th, do I have my numbers right? We don't have numbers.
Yes,
in the
you're
front
correct.
of ours.
You're right.
10th place was Alan Lynch with a John Deere 4430, had a 299.24. So we had all the tractors from 300 up, or almost 300 up. Yeah. So it's a good class.
Very good class. So.
Nice, smooth class, and that was it was a pleasure working with East Coast on those two classes. Everything went well, and hopefully we continue that streak.
Absolutely. That's our intentions.
Yep.
Miss Kendra.
Yes.
It's all about you.
I'm going to take us west out to Deep Creek Lake. That was the same weekend there as Lebanon Beast of the East event. Actually just had dinner with Jess Star last night. She was she was marketing all the good things there for them. Kudos to Mark Miller and his group. She said it was a very smooth pull, had great sled settings all night, thanks to the Terminator sled team. Good numbers, great crowd. They had beautiful weather, much as we did there at East of the East. We'll talk about last weekend here in a little bit. But yeah, we'll just go ahead and go over all of the interstate classes. Started out the night with the 11,000 pound hot farm. Only 3 tractors made it out to the event. The first 2 of which driven by the same guy. Jared Stoner took the win with salvaged after hours at 344.92. And second was salvage this too, 325.52, also driven by Jared. Third place was Josh Knight with his Ford 9000 going 306.6. Then we went right into the 6200 two-wheel drive trucks. Taking the win was Ian Ericker with the Village Idiots, one of our favorite trucks here, at 315.70. Second place was Will Foley with the brand new truck, and this is a sharp-looking truck. We'll have to find a picture of it. It is, what's the other Foley? John Foley. It is his son, I believe. Resurrected is the name of the truck. Went 302.61. Third place went to Dale Forrester with the Bandit at 245.79. And fourth place was Andy Forrester with the Turn Back the Clock going 150.32. Then we went into the 10,000 pound Pro Farm class. Taking the win was Mark Culbertson with Stitch going 320.01. Second place went to Ivan Hessong with the Limestone Binder going 316.33. Third place was Mark Smith, not the Ford Mark Smith, the John Deere Mark Smith, going 313.83. Fourth place was Chris Pengel Jr., driving all hooked up, going 302.92. Ryan Miller with Amish Ingenuity went 302.66. Sixth place was Marshall Beidel with the Marshall Law going 299.58. Seventh was Anthony Hamrick with Beefy going 297.56. Eighth place went to Bobby Shipe with Old Blue going 295.26. And rounding out the class of 9 was Shane Steed doing the driving on Chris Pengel's Ford 9600 going 151.29. After that, they jumped right into the 7,700-pound light limited class, 8 tractors on hand. First place went to Cody Anderson with his International 1066 with a monster distance of 352.84. Second place was Bradley Wassler with the Whistling Red going 351.35. Third place, Ricky Tavener with Red Tornado going 348.88. Fourth place went to Sue Johnson with the Iron Maiden going 343.55. Fifth place was Jason Weichel with the Unleashed at 343.12. Sixth place went to Macy Kiskaden with Smoke Show going 303.86. Seventh place went to Kevin Grubb with his John Deere 4450 going 269.72. And unfortunately, with a disqualification at his hometown pool, was Dayton Custer with Operation Blue at 283.74. You know, sticking to the saying that the hardest pool to win and do good at is your hometown pool.
That's right. Yep.
I don't know why it is. Then we jumped into the 7,800-pound modified class, 5 tractors on hand. Taking the win was Jason Weichel with Untamed going 308.26. Second place was Andy Forrester doing the driving on Don Haley's Nonsense going 306.41. Third place, Dale Forrester, again on the seat of Don Haley's Track Fever, going 302.73. Kirsty Robinson was fourth with Phony 2, going 299.67. And rounding out the class was Ian Ericker on the Unstable, going 293.79. Man, he had a wonderful night in one class, and geez, at least it's all about balance, though. Good job, Ian. All right, then they went into the 8,500-pound mod turbo class, 12 tractors on hand. Taking the win was Lauren Smith with Moody Blue going 327.31.
Wow.
Place.
That's a name I haven't heard in a while.
Yep. Normally he doesn't make it too much out of Virginia, but it was good to see him come all the way up there to Deep Creek Lake. Maybe he was on vacation. Maybe he listened and took my advice that it was a wonderful weekend away.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Second place went to Guy Gokenauer with the stress test at 323.26. Third place went to Brad Peters with the Outcast at 321.57. Fourth went to Steve Beckley with Up in Smoke at 314.54. Right behind him was Scott Kiskaden on Bleeding Blue going 314.10. Sixth place was Vern Zerby's Z Unit at 312.14. Eddie Ocker took 7th place with the Bull Ride of BJ Wilkins going 306.71. 8th place, Jason Forrester with Papa Smurf going 305.81. Speaking of names we don't hear too often, Aaron Bradish came down with Recycled Red going 303.77. 10th place went to the man of the evening, Mark Miller with Mighty Mouse going 302.89. 11th went to Anthony Hamrick with the Blue Line of Chris Pengel going 296.58. And unfortunately, with some breakage on the line, was Vern Zerby with Dr. LZ going 4.5 feet. Then I think they went into a class of hot street semis, and I think that rounded out the evening as far as all the results that I have. So without further ado, what pool are we doing next? Williams Grove, right?
Now
We're not
going to
done.
go to back to Beast of the East.
Okay.
And we are going to the announcer's tower side track this time. I'll go ahead and cover the 2 semi classes. Then we'll cut Dwayne loose on the 2.6 diesel, and then we got 2 gas 4x4 classes, and that will wrap up Beast of the East. But anyway, street semi started off the evening on the announcer's tower side, or what is currently the announcer's tower side. Anyway, I think that's subject to
North track.
Yes.
Yeah, I think we need to change the names of them because the announcer is a pain in the butt to spell on my papers every time. Pit is pretty
Anyway.
easy.
Yeah, the north track, but I think aren't you guys moving the tower over to the south track?
Yeah,
Eventually?
the tower is supposed to be moved behind the newsstands and be connected to the registration, so it'll all be in one
area.
Yes.
Yeah. And pullers it'll be right there in the pits for the pullers too. That'll be pretty convenient.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
Anyway, getting started here. No surprise when this winner, James Huber, with his 1999 Peterbilt taking the win at 328.05. Second place, Randy Johnson up out of Southern Maryland with his 98 Mac, known as Divorce Papers, 327.35. Third, Casey Livingood, no stranger to the area up y'all's way, with his 65 Diamond T at 305.40. Fourth was Patrick By with his Cheater Cheat 1990 Peterbilt at 305.15. Why? These semi names, Cheaters, Divorce Papers, and my goodness.
I don't know. I think those guys are starting to get a little bit creative because I see Nelson has a funky name for his too.
Yeah. Yeah, we're getting to that. Yeah, I saw that. Fifth place was Jimmy Hall with his 1977 Ford L9000 at 304.15. Sixth, Colton Rohrbach with his 96 Kenworth at 287.05. Number 7 was Nelson McCall with his 88 Mack Superliner, now named Kitty Chase. That means here, kitty, kitty, as in here, Mr. Caterpillar. That's how I read it, Dwayne.
Yeah, that's exactly how I read it too, but I've never seen it listed that way. That's why I was chuckling.
Kitty Chase, 269.40. Again, 7th. 8th place was a very close local and a family that does a lot of work there as well. Dakota Grumbine with their 94 Ford at 266.50. Dakota's dad, Darren, was doing some of the announcing there Saturday night. So, 9th, Justin Getz with their 92 International, the Orange Crush, at 264.95. 10th was Cole Getz, the son of Justin, with a 75 Marmon at 259.70. And I have to admit, that's got to be one of the cleanest Marmons. Oh boy, takes a lot of pride in that thing. You keep her cleaned up, pretty nice. He was 10th at 259.70. 11th was Josh Brown over here in Moncton, Maryland, with a 91 Kenworth W900 at 255.95. 12th was Harold Lieb with his 97 Ford Aeromax. A lot of Fords in this class. 245.60. Let's see. 13th was Jamie Eason with his 96 Peterbilt at 244.80. 14th, Mark Fessler with his 2000 Peterbilt at 156.10. And interesting enough, Mark Fessler, for many years, ran a diesel 4x4 truck, if I remember correctly, and has since joined the semi-truck ranks. So,
Mark was one of the first 4 trucks out in the track and had problems spooling and getting it down the track. And lucky for him, the guy running the track couldn't make his mind up. And the 4th truck was a truck that was fairly hot. And so we reset the sled to lighten it up. And he got to come back and try 2 more times. So Mark tried 4 times and it just would not stay lit. So
yeah, Clint Young said that's a truck driver thing. Okay, is there any hot farm class of the tractor superstock? Tom Davis, I don't understand what your question means. Is there any hot farm class of the tractor superstocks? I don't know what it means.
Might need a clarification on that.
Yeah. Rethink that, Tom, and let us know. We gladly answer your question. Right after that, the The Pro Stock Sim.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Unless he didn't hear the hot farm results that Dwayne went over before we went to Kendra. The hot farms were there, yes. All those videos are up, by the way, on EEP pulling videos, which is right behind me there, as you can read. Back there somewhere on that channel. Anyway, good evening, Nicole Marson. How are you? She has she showed up just in time because we'll be going over some upcoming events, and she is flat busy this weekend. I'm telling you right now. Probably has already started, I'm sure. It is Old Time Days in Fawn Grove, Pennsylvania, and we're going to be talking about Nicole's stuff coming up here in a few minutes. Anyway, Pro Stock Semi Trucks, 2 were on hand. Jerry Martin with the Inconvenience Freightliner at 341.15, and Albert Brown with the Back in Black V8 Mac at 327 even. So that rounded out the evening for the semi trucks, and those semi trucks hauled butt up to Kempton for their Saturday night show up there, which we do not have results for. So.
I do. I have all the results for Saturday too.
He'll cover that. He'll cover that shortly. I didn't know that. Okay, 2.6 diesel
in a couple of hours when we get done with all of Kendra's stuff, and
that's it.
2.6 diesel taking the win in the 2.6 diesel class was Derek Smith with the limited time, the green limited time Dodge with a 288.20. Little story just before we start here. The
that's
sled
why we'll be late.
Yeah. The sled was set a little bit tight, and I would have loved to reset the sled, but Adam Osborne from Connecticut was the first truck, and he didn't want to repull. So I really appreciate them coming down from Connecticut, and I didn't want to show them a hard time and put them out of it. So we just ran the sled a little bit heavy. So again, in first place was Derek Smith with a 288.20. In second place was Louis Slabata with the Something Twisted. He had a 288.10. Third place was Kyler Zeckman from Millmont with a 282.80. And fourth place was Adam Osborne from Connecticut with a 280.40. And fifth place was Chris Lloyd driving Hot Property with a 274.55. And sixth place was Jesse Young with a gray Ford at a 270.95. And hold on, I lost my way again. In seventh place was David Heller with the Iron Will Chevy with a 247.80. And Matt Mace was a scratch. So that rounds out the 2.6 class. JR disappeared. Yeah. There's 2 more classes to go. I guess if JR doesn't show back up, we'll keep going. Next class was a street gas class. Oh, there he is. Let him have it.
I was getting Nicole stuff ready.
But, that's fine.
Anyway, yeah. Pro Street Gas 4x4 trucks was next up, and probably one of the biggest, baddest Chevrolet trucks in the land over that way, Mr. Robert Markey Jr. I'm sure I'll catch hell for that from some of them. But definitely one of the top trucks over y'all's way in eastern Pennsylvania. Sure. Robert Markey Jr. with Devastation taking the win at 343.10. Second place, Richard Gardner with a 78 Ford called Untamed Aggression, 342.40. So right on top of one another there. Pretty good competition. Third, Brandon Struble with the 97 Ford called Mutiny, 330.90. Fourth was Jeremiah Fake right down the street in Myerstown with his 69 Chevy at 324.80. Fifth was David Fuchs out of Stroudsburg with his Thunderstruck Ford at 315.40. Sixth was Kim Freed with everybody's Frogtown favorite, the White Dodge. Nobody complained about him. 314.75. Good job. 7th was Jason Garris at Robisonia with his 1970 Chevy at 312.30. 8th, Bryce May with the migraine headache. He is a grain farmer in Jonestown, Pennsylvania. Migraine headache. Get it? 79 Ford. 309.10. And I have to say something. They did some work on that truck over the winter, didn't they? Because that truck just seemed a little bit more than last year. A bit more than, not just a little bit. Yeah, good job. 9th place was Luke Smeltzer with the 74 Ford at 306 feet even. 10th was Bob Markey. That would be Robert Markey Jr.'s dad, who will probably say, well, my truck runs pretty good too, boy. But anyway, I don't really know him that well, but I'm just BSing my way through this, trying to get a laugh. But anyway, 75 GMC at 303.25 with a slipper clutch now, by the way. 11th was Brent Shuey with his 77 Ford at 302.10. 12th was Jed Sensnick with a really cool 66 Ford. I really like that truck. 291.35. 13th was Ben McElroy with his Candy Apple Red 85 Chevrolet, 288.90. 14th was Dave Zona with the nonprofit Chevrolet at 242.20. And John Price was scheduled to run the class, or was added accidentally there, but he did not run in that class. Dwayne, finish it up for us, buddy. Street
Street gas.
4x4.
Coming out in first place was another Markey. Bob Markey, the old man, got a 360.35 with his slipper clutch.
By the way, I'm going to ask this question.
You started it.
I know. I'm sorry. And I don't care.
They might not show up in the next pull because we're making fun of them. No, that's all right. He had a really nice pull, and I'm telling you, driving that thing the whole way to the bank.
You bet. You bet.
In second place was W.D. Ferguson with his gray Chevy. He had a 315 straight up. In third place was Donald Eshelman with his 74 Ford with a 309.50. In fourth place was Corey Brown, Albert Brown's son, with a 296.40. In fifth place was Corey Baselja with a 291.70. In sixth place was John Price out of Rising Sun with a 290.75. In seventh place was Chris Wagner from Jonestown with a 282.35. In eighth place was Steve Zeckman from Jonestown with a 281.8. In ninth place was Justin Markey, which would be Robert's son and Bob's grandson. Did I say that? Ninth. Justin Markey with a 124.45. So apparently it didn't quite go. We had two scratches. And we had Larry or Lawrence Waldridge from Elkton, Maryland, which came and did a pretty nice run, but unfortunately had some parts that fell off of the vehicle. Not just one, but two pieces that fell off the vehicle, and so it was a DQ. Unfortunately, I would have loved to give him the distance, but it wouldn't have been fair.
That track guy, he was pretty harsh on him Saturday night.
Yeah. Actually, there was communication between the starting flagger and the finish flagger to make that decision.
You better be nice to Larry. I call him Larry, Lawrence.
Well,
yeah, he's a policeman over here.
Yep.
In Elkton, so
I guess now that was the end of Beast of the East. That was our 9 classes or 8 classes and an exhibition class. So
can't wait to go back. Yeah, the semi class. You're absolutely right. It was an exhibition. The Pro Stock semis, the two trucks that were there,
but I'm glad they showed up. They did a great. They had great runs, and it's good entertainment. The crowd loves those trucks. Oh, one last
scratches go. Colby and Colin O'Rourke actually did hook the sled, but they just didn't move the sled. One did move the sled, but it wasn't maybe an inch or 2 inches. But anyway.
What I was going to say, I think we figured about 112 hooks that we did in 3.5 hours, and that timed out with our downtime moving the truck off the track that was broke down, that we had about 1.6 minutes per hook. And they
don't mess around. They put on a good show. Yep.
I was pretty surprised. So anyway.
But Kendra, back to you.
My time. So, new media. I was told I missed a sauna of a truck pull or a tractor pull, tractor pull. Sounds like if anybody has ever been to new media, you know there is zero shade, like none, no trees in sight. And if anybody remembers how hot last Saturday was, you know what they went through. And it started at 1 p.m. So unfortunately, because of that, a lot of tractors and trucks did not make the trek. And a lot of people were trying to figure out how to keep their engines cool when the real field temp was 100 and X degrees.
Yep.
So anyway, we will go over what results we do have. 5 tractors on hand for the 7,800 pound modified class. Taking back-to-back first and second place was Dale Forrester doing the driving on both of Don Haley's tractors. First place was Nonsense going 336.62. Right behind that was Track Fever at 336.37. Third place went to Kiersey Robinson with the Phony 2 at 334.52. Jason Weichel with Untamed was 334.03. And rounding out the class was Ian Ericker with the Unstable going 319.75. Then we jumped into the 8,500 pound mod turbo class, 7 tractors on hand. Taking the win was Jason Forrester with Papa Smurf going 326.43. Scott Kiskaden with the Bull Ride went 310.46. Brad Peters with the Outcast 309.32. That Brad and Nick are doing a fantastic job with that new tractor. It was if anybody remembers way back when, it was Matt Doherty's tractor when he campaigned it as a mod turbo, and then the Watkins family purchased it and ran it for a little bit as
who had it before
bypass?
Matt Doherty? Yeah, it was triple bypass.
Yeah, I don't know who had it before Matt Doherty.
Matt Henderson.
There you go.
Matt Henderson.
So yeah, good job to Brad and Nick Morrison, kind of tag teaming that tractor and doing a fantastic job with it for their
Papa
first
Smurf
time.
is a Ford. I'm sorry, Kendra. Papa Smurf is a Ford.
Papa's
Ford, New Holland Ford, but it's the older sheet motor, 9,000, right? Yeah, 9,000 Ford.
And then Bull Ride and Bleeding Blue in that class are the New Hollands. Speaking of Bleeding Blue, Scott Kiskaden was 4th, going 208.19. 5th place, Logan Smith with the Moody Blue at 206.24. And then Vern Zerby with Dr. LZ at 195.93. And then Vern Zerby again, rounding out the class with Z Unit going 126.81. I have to tell old Verno I'm going to have to come back here and whip the team into shape.
Yeah.
Just kidding, Verno.
Verno. What else you got? You're wrapped up then, Kendra?
Yeah, I'm caught up on results then. Was only going to plug in a couple upcoming events.
We're gonna go ahead and get this get the results done with Duante Beast here real quick, and Dwayne.
I have results for Kempton Saturday, and I have results for now I'm having a brain fart. Williams Grove. Do you want me to go through all
Get her
of them
done.
quick?
Get her done.
All right.
Yep.
Kempton on Saturday, June the 15th, they had the first class I have here is King of the Farm class. In first place was Ryan Dengler with a 355.63. In second place was Brad Kiefer on a John Deere with a 326.38. In third place was Josh Brewer with an International with a 309.97. And fourth was Chad Hart on a John Deere with a 299.76. And fifth place was Jake Blake out of New Jersey on an International, had a 297.32. And sixth place was Sam Angst on an International called Crystal Eagle, had a 293.23. Sorry. Seventh place, Brad Kiefer on a John Deere with a 284.53. And eighth place was John Hetrick on a John Deere with a 264.55. And ninth place was Jonathan Mast on a John Deere with a 261.11. Now, the next class up was the two-wheel drives. There was two in attendance. Irv Clark on Wildside had a 308.23. And in second place was Trent Best with his turbo Ford T-Bucket with a 212.21. The next class up was the semi-trucks. Sorry. In first place with an exhibition hook with the longest distance was Clifford Lick Jr. with a 379.75. In first place was Randy Johnson from Cambridge, Maryland, with that red Mac called Divorce Papers with a 301.13. In second place was Jim Huber in a Peterbilt with a 300.61. In third place was Colton Rohrbach in a Kenworth with a 296.61. In fourth place was Justin Getz of East Earl with his International Cab over with a 296.19. In fifth place was Jimmy Hall from Maryland in a Ford with a 290.64. In sixth place was Casey Livingood in the Diamond T, had a 286.41. And seventh was Jake Moyer in a Peterbilt with a 285.47. In eighth place was Jamie Easton in a Peterbilt with a 270.94. In ninth place was Cole Moyer in a Peterbilt with a 258.39. And 10th was Cole Getz in the Marmon Cab over with a 250.44. In the 11th was Patrick Ebanks in a Matt Superliner, had a 240.75. In 12th place was Troy Hatt with a Peterbilt with a 224.11. In 13th was Dylan Hart in an International with a 203.61. And 14th was Brian Sams from New Jersey in a Freightliner with a 201.63. And 15th place was Clifford Lick III in a Ford 9000 with a 199.89. And 16th place was Tom Blake with a 150.38. The next class I have is the 8500 Light Pro Stock. In first place was Jeff Michelocci with a driving Demented with a 340.63. In second place was Cody Up driving the Storm with a 310.82. In third place was Crisco Maroney driving his International 1206 with a 281.33. And fourth was Ray Belak Jr. Driving Raging Red with a 60.19. In fifth place was Sidney Utt driving Rolling Thunder and was DQ'd. Not sure what happened there. And we had two exhibition hooks. Next class I have is the Altered Farm. There were 7 tractors in the class. In first place was Jacob Motes with a 290.17. In second place was Matt Blaley driving a Ford with a 266.47. And third was Wes Zimmerman from Newville, PA, driving a Farmall 1206 with a 263.09. And fourth was Brad Knoll from Ole, driving a Massey with a 252.51. In fifth place, Anthony Zimmerman from Lidditz, PA, driving a John Deere, had a 252.41. In sixth place was Ian Tasserini from Dover, PA, driving a John Deere, had a 245.74. And seventh was Zach Ekman, and he had a DQ. And I think it was, I'm not 100% sure. There might have been a DQ because of a speed limit. I'm not sure if those tractors had a speed limit. All right. Jump right into the Williams Grove classes. Are you ready?
Let's go.
Do it.
King of the Farm. In first place was Mike Corder with the other Deere, had a 297.36. In second place was Joel Hawkins, driving a John Deere 4450, had a 294.84. In third place was Chad Hart from Bethel with a John Deere He had a 293.42. In fourth place was Jonathan Mass of Ole, driving a John Deere at a 293.36. In fifth place was Jake Blake Jr. from New Jersey. He had a 293.14. In sixth place was Brad Kiefer with another John Deere, had a 291.37. In seventh place was John Hetrick with a John Deere. He had a 287.85. In eighth place was Brad Kiefer on a John Deere, had a 285.89. In ninth place was Josh Brewer in an international, had a 285.20. 10th place was Sam Angst with an international, had a 278.59. And Ryan, we had two more tractors. One was DQ'd because of RPMs, and the other one was DQ'd because of speed. The next class I have is a 2.6 Pro Street. In first place was Chris Lloyd driving a Dodge called Hot Property, had a 321.73. In second place was Brendan Fink with a 312.47. In third place was Scott Kinnaman driving Devil's Hooker with a 301.79. In fourth place was Derek Smith with the Green Limited Time Dodge with a 301.04. The next class I have in the list here, next class up, was Hot Farm. In first place was Jeremy DeLuca with a Sunset Smoker. He had a 366.28, which is a nice long pull. In second place was Nick Morrison driving Toxic. He had a 359.67. In third place was Brian Morrison on the Shed Shaker. He had a 359.45. In fourth place was Alan Lynch with a betting on green John Deere, had a 349.91. In fifth place was Doug Heyman with Bulls Binder, had a 336.15. In sixth place was Ryan Denglinger with a tractor called an international called Black Stallion, had a 320.15. In seventh place was Trevor Holton from New York driving a blue on black Ford, had a 284.51. Next class up was the 3.0 Limited Pro. This was also on the hot day. So steamy hot day. In first place was Rich Wolf from New Jersey with a last minute Ford, had a 369.77. In second place was Kyle Spickerman on Old Jenny with a 347.51. In third place was Greg Walker in the Dreams Happen Dodge with a 346.47. In fourth place, Jeremy Grick with older Jenny. He had a 333.91. And in fifth place was Mark Andrews and Public Enemy, had a 75.91. And I think he had some kind of driveline issue. I think he wasn't spinning the front tires. I'm not 100% sure of that.
Confirmed. It was very hot at Williams Grove.
One more class here. We had the Wild Street. In first place was Chad Lutz with a 365.33. And second was Dylan Rupp with a Ford, had a 359.82. In third place was Nathan Rupp with a Dodge, had a 355.13. And fourth was Tony Utzi driving a Dodge called Poor Chonky, had a 353.56. In fifth place was Alan Casey from West Virginia with a 348.17. In sixth place was Lindell Steiner with a 335.20. In seventh place, Clyde Weaver with his Ford, had a 328.27. In eighth place was Ricky Hunt. I said that wrong. Hunter Ricker with Daddy's Scrap Money. He had a 316.56. And ninth was Sean Mahoney with a 316.03. And 10th was Devin Hostetter. The Chevy had a 313.07. 11th, Sheldon Cuts, with a 307.62. And 12th place was Joe Warner from Maryland with a 281.05. And 13th place was Robert Yutzi with the coming apart Dodge, had a 268.64, and an exhibition run by Logan Taylor. That's all I had.
You sure?
Hold on, one more. Altered Farm. We had 6 tractors in the Altered Farm class. This is the last class. In first place was Ian Tassarini, Tassinari. I said that wrong, I think, the last time. Ian Tassinari with the John Deere had a 251.45. In second place was Annalise Stover on an international, had 247.80. And third was Gary Warner on a Deutz 1306 with a 244.68. In fourth place was Wes Zimmerman with a 237.12. In fifth place was Jacob Motes with a 208.15. In sixth place was Zach Ekman with a 203.68. That's all I have. That's all I have for Williams Grove. Yeah, tell me about it. Hold on. My whistle. I need to wet my whistle.
Yeah, it's a lot of pulling. Like I say, we had a week off from having a show, and we got it all covered tonight pretty much. So that's great.
I think I would have slowed down a little bit, but we're
getting late.
Yeah. So
anyway, East Coast this Saturday night at the Washington County Ag Center in Boonesboro, Maryland. 6 p.m. We got our fingers crossed. Modified tractors, modified 4x4 trucks, super stock, pro stock tractors, East Coast diesel 4-wheel drive trucks, the ABC York hot farm tractors, and the limited pro stock semis. I'm going to back up and go to the Weimer
Air and fuel
super stock pro stock tractors. One day I'll remember that. We get a week or two off there. Then July 13th, we roll into Mason-Dixon Fair right up the street here in Delta, Pennsylvania, 7 p.m. East Coast Diesel 4-wheel drive trucks, ABC York hot farm tractors, and the limited pro stock semis. July 19th, headed down to the Eastern Shore, 7 p.m. at the Tuckahoe Steam and Gas Association in Eastern Maryland with the modified tractors, modified 4x4 trucks. It's a big event. East Coast Diesel 4-wheel drive trucks, ABC York hot farm tractors, the light pro tractors, and the limited pro stock semi trucks. July 24th, we roll into Lebanon, Pennsylvania at 7:30 p.m. for the Lebanon Area Fair. So Beast of the East guys will be there, but it's not a Beast of the East event. But anyway, modified 4-wheel drive trucks, Weimer Fuel and Air, super stock pro stock tractors, the ABC York hot farm tractors, East Coast Diesel 4x4 trucks, and the limited pro stock semi trucks. July 25th will be a rain date for July 24th. Same time, same classes at Lebanon Fair. July 26th and July 27th, 7 p.m. both nights. That's a Friday night and Saturday night. The Harford County Farm Fair right here, just south of us here in Bel Air, Maryland. The modified tractors, ABC York hot farm tractors, East Coast Diesel 4-wheel drive trucks, and the limited pro stock semis, both nights, 7 p.m., July 26th and 27th. Also, July 26th, Fishersville, Virginia just added a couple weeks ago with the modified 4x4 trucks, pro stock 4x4 trucks, and the Weimer Fuel and Air super stock, pro stock tractors. July 30th, we'll stop with that. July 30th, 7 p.m., the Schuylkill County Fair in Summit Station, Pennsylvania. East Coast Diesel 4-wheel drive trucks, the ABC York hot farm tractors, modified 4-wheel drive trucks, and the limited pro stock semi trucks. Next. I have more to go over, but I'm going to give you guys a shot.
Kendra, go ahead. I have one I got to look up quick yet.
Yep. So interstate, just do the next 2 weekends because with fair season coming, there's a ton. So for sake of time, this weekend, the Firecracker 300 out at New Centerville Fire Department. It's a co-sanctioned event with Full Pool Productions. Like I said, this Friday and Saturday, both start times are 7 p.m. Light limited pro tractors, the Run What You Brung diesel, most of them are super stock guys. the Pro Street 2.6 diesel trucks, minis, and the Duel of the Fuels Super Pro Stock class and the Renegade diesels are the full pool classes. Again, this is a 2-track event. And the interstate classes that'll be on hand are the Mod Turbos and the 4500 small block trucks. And they will also be running a youth class up there. Free parking, $20 will get you in the gate. Kids from 6 to 12 are $10 and free for those who are 5 and under. Camping is available, $25 a spot. And then we will go into the next weekend, July 4th weekend, July 6th. We will be down at Jefferson County in Carneysville, West Virginia, with the 7,700 pound light limited, 6,000 pound classics, 8,500 wild street, 13.5 farm stock, 8,000 pound street diesels, 6,500 open, 7,000 pound street gas trucks, and dirt drags. Again, that's in Carneysville, West Virginia, $12 at the gate, 12 and under are free. We are also going to be down Woodstock, Virginia, Saturday, start time 6 p.m. Again, $12 at the gate, 12 and under are free. Going to be starting at 5 o'clock with the 13,000 pound farm stock tractors and street legal pickup trucks. Then at 6 p.m., they'll start the interstate show with the 10,000 pound Pro Farm, 8,500 pound Mod Turbo, 7,800 pound Modifieds, 4,500 pound small block trucks, and the 11,000 pound Hot Farm. And then fair season starts, and we'll get to all those fairs later. We'll just say Franklin County Fair's got a week full of pools. Then we go down to Hagerstown, Boonesboro, Maryland for their county fair. Then we go to Plainfield Fair, Lycoming County Fair, Shippensburg Fair, all the fairs. Carroll County Fair. So just know fair season is upon us, and there is going to be truck and tractor pulling everywhere.
Yes.
At this rate,
times every night. Yeah.
At this rate, we might as well start doing a 2-hour show.
May have to.
Anyway, coming up this weekend, Union County West End Fair, summer shootout truck and tractor pull. I don't think it's the actual fair.
No, it's just a standalone event there at their fairgrounds.
So at Union County West End, the classes are Enhanced Farm, Hot Stock, Mod Turbo / Super Farm. We have the light Pro 4-1 Limited Pro tractor class. It's the writing was a little bit faded. And the 2.6 Pro Street trucks, 3.0 Limited Pro trucks, and Pro Street gas trucks. Admission is $10. 5 and under are free. And the start time is 6 p.m. Then I'm gonna skip a weekend. And on July the 13th, Snyder County is having a pool at Selinsgrove, PA. The classes are the 12,000 Enhanced Farm, 10.5 Hot Stock, the Mod Turbo Super Farm, 8,000 2.6 Pro Street, 6,200 Pro Street gas trucks, and Wild Street diesel or Wild Street trucks. And that start time is 6:30 at Selinsgrove. Adults $10, 12 and under free. And even more important is Keystone Large Car Magazine Truck Pool hosted by Beasts of the East at Lebanon Valley Expo Center on July the 13th. We're going to have street gas, Pro Street gas, Wild Street diesel, street semi-electronic, and street diesel mechanical. So they're going to get split up. The truck show starts in the morning. It will be on Keystone Large Car Nats on Facebook. The gates open at 10 a.m. for the truck show, and the pools will then start at 7. And I don't have any of the other information on here, but if you're really into semi trucks and things like that, this would be your place to go. A lot of nice trucks and a good all-around truck show.
Cool deal. I assume you're all caught up there then.
Yeah, I think that's all I have.
Okay. I have
think
one
that's-
more here. Old Time Days, Fawn Grove, Pennsylvania, coming up here. There we go. I know it's kind of hard to read on our screen here, but Saturday, June 29th, again, weather permitting. Nothing is canceled yet. So, as far as we're concerned, the sun's going to be out. We're going to be pulling everywhere Saturday. But anyway, Saturday, June 29th, during the Fawn Grove Old Time Days, weigh-in starts at 12:30 p.m. Pools start at 3 p.m. Free admission and free parking. Regular hook is $15. Jackpot hooks are $25. And I'm going to be showing a list of classes here in just a second once I go over all this other information. This is the contacts for this is Nicole Morrison and Doug. I am not going to put their phone numbers out here publicly, but you can reach out to Nicole Morrison with any questions on Facebook as well, and or reach out to me and I'll put you in contact with her quick. I'll get you hooked up somehow or another. But this is a great show for the entire family. It's not just about tractor pulling. It is. It's great tractor pulling, but there's a lot of things going on there for Old Time Days. Have a parade Saturday. A lot of hit miss engine displays up through the park there. All kinds of stuff. Antiques, new stuff, old stuff, stuff for sale. Plenty of food. It's a great day-long thing there, whatever day you decide to go. But definitely June 29th, this Saturday, for the tractor pulling. I'm going to go ahead and try to pull this up without too much delay here. Quick. Put the classes list up here sometime today. This should make this easier for us older people. There you go. Anyway. Okay. Here's your list of classes. They got a couple of them that they would like to run Saturday. So anyway, yeah, antiques. I'll go ahead and read them off in case you can't read them there. 4,500 6 mile per hour, 4,500 open, 5,500 6, 6,500 6, 7,500, 8,500, 9,500, all 6 mile per hour, 10.5 6 mile per hour, 12.5 6 mile per hour. And then we go to the opens. Again, I start at 4,500 there. 55, 65, 75, 85, 95, 10.5, 12.5 open. Antique and jackpot classes, the 4750 6 mile per hour and open. 5750 6 mile per hour and open. 6750 6 mile per hour and open. And the 8750 6 mile per hour and open. Those are your antique jackpot classes. And they're not done there yet. We also have the truck classes: street legal gas, modified gas, street legal diesel, modified diesel, run what you brung, and there will be a jackpot between all of those classes. Farm stock tractors, 12.5 open, 15,000 open, and there'll be a jackpot between those. And the semi truck class will be work stock semi, super street semi, and there also will be a jackpot between all of them. So it's going to be busy in Fawn Grove, providing the sun shining and all that good stuff, and Mother Nature lets us pull. It's going to be very busy. So
Nicole says, bring it, and we'll hook it to the sled.
Yeah. Yes. That phrase was reworded. Good job, Nicole. But anyway, yeah, absolutely. Bring it. Within safety reasons, they'll hook it to the sled. And good time up there. I haven't been to an Old Time Day show in many years, unfortunately, because we're in Boonesboro or wherever else pulling, unfortunately. Well, I won't say unfortunately. Don't take that the wrong way, but Old Time Days is a great deal for families, kids, adults. Plenty of stuff to do there. If you like tractor pulling, this is your pool if you're local. If not, put it on your bucket list and make the trip. Come see it, because there's plenty of stuff to do as far as tractor pulling goes, truck pulling, and also in the up in the wood, what I call the treat area, which is pretty shady. At least it used to be. I'm sure it still is. Hit miss engines on display. all kinds of different things for the family. So definitely check it out. Nicole and the crew worked their butts off to get this thing going up there, and also a parade too. I'm not quite sure. Do you know? Yeah, pretty unique trophies as well for the pullers. By the way, you want to pull? Come on up, register, come pull. What time is the parade, Nicole? Saturday. Do you know offhand? She's in chat. That's what we're asking.
She can't type that fast.
Chop, chop, lady. Let's go. I'm ready to get out of here. We've been here an hour and 26 minutes. She's probably looking it up. But anyway, it's pretty cool stuff there. A lot of stuff to do. She thinks 10 a.m. Yeah, I know. I thought it was late morning. Okay. With that said, we had a lot of viewers tonight, folks. I don't know what y'all's screen says, but I'm looking over here. I finally figured out how to read some of this stuff.
Mine says 0.
Yours says 0.
That
Yeah, I
mine doesn't.
can't see it.
Mine doesn't have viewers because we're not admins.
Gotcha. But anyway, yeah. What I'd like to see at 138 is I would like to see more than 8 thumbs up, folks. Please take a second. It's free. Hit that thumbs up for us. That's what YouTube world likes to see is thumbs up.
Oh, yes. Robert. Thank you, Robert. I didn't realize who Robert was until he posted that last post there. Robert came to his first truck pull. He runs a YouTube page, and I allowed him to
yes.
sneak in beside JR and get
Mikey.
some video. And
Yep.
it was a pleasure to meet new people.
Yeah, always. Yep, I'm sure he had a good time. I'm sure he'll be back. So, yep, he's got an upcoming. Well, I guess he's been doing it for quite a while. So, and hey, if anybody likes to announce, they're looking for an announcer at Old Time Days for the tractor and truck pulling. So, there you go, Robert. Now that you're on here and you're listening, you want a lot of pulling action of a great variety. Bone Grove, Pennsylvania is your place to be Saturday. Might want to check into that. Anyway.
And you can even announce, Robert, if you want the job.
That's right.
Now, wait a minute. Fawn Grove Old Time Days, that's just down the road from, what is it?
Delta.
What's his name?
Delta.
Tanner's house.
Tanner lives in Delaware now.
Oh, does he? Oh, my
yeah, he's Delaware boy now. So,
I got you.
Yep, yeah, for sure. Definitely check that out. But you would like to have videos. There you go, Robert. There you go. Check it out. Look up Nicole Morrison.
Have you reached out to Rich Carball? He might be able to help you with announcing.
How about John? John does Easton. John Root. Might check with John Root, Nicole. I'm not sure if he'll be busy at Boonesboro. I'm not sure if Boonesboro uses him or not, but
Boonesboro usually uses Brian Yeager.
Yeah. So there's a possibility John Root may be available. Look him up on Facebook as well, Nicole. He's been in our chat before. So he's a good announcer. Laid back. He's a good announcer.
Message JR for contact info.
Yes. Message me. Not a problem. I'll hook you up. Okay. With that said, we're almost at an hour and a half. It's 9:34. I'm ready to cut out of here. Appreciate everybody's input here tonight. Appreciate everybody in chat. All the viewers and all the views we'll have after the fact. So, Kendra, good to see you here early. Bright-eyed and ready to go. Dwayne, awesome
tired.
job as always.
Yeah.
I'm tired too. I got one more night. By the way, while I'm talking, tomorrow night at 8 p.m., night number 3 for this guy on live shows. We will have the Midshore Pullers are back tomorrow night for a live show at 8 p.m. right here. I'm sure they have plenty to talk about. It's been a couple of months, I think, month and a half or so since they've been on. So I'm sure they have a full slate to talk about with the Antique Pulling Point Series and some other ongoings with local pulling and wherever they've been pulling. So tomorrow night, 8 p.m., we'll have all the links on Facebook. So
And I'd like to add something yet before we go.
Sure.
If you live in Eastern Maryland or Eastern Pennsylvania, tie down whatever's loose, because I think we got a storm coming tonight. According to the
Yeah.
radar, we might be having some pretty strong winds and thunderstorms rolling through later on this evening. So, yeah, we need the rain.
We need the rain, but we don't need the damage. So
No.
hopefully the Lord will stay on our side.
So I
Drench our
think it's
crops and
raining
our
here
grass.
now, so it's
Is
coming.
it? Oh, you're lucky. We haven't. I think there was rain here Sunday, but it was minute, and the grass is still crunchy under your feet. So
It's pretty strong front coming through. I think you're going to
Is it?
get some here soon.
okay. Well, we'll take
At least it waited till we had our podcast
Yeah.
already done, because the last time JR had 1 foot down his basement stairs while I was doing the podcast with the other one. He was ready to run, jump and hide.
Yeah, I remember that. You're right. Yeah,
A little bit nerve-wracking that evening.
yeah, yes, it was. But we got through it, and there was 5 tornadoes in the state of Maryland that night.
Mm-hmm.
It's
5
tornadoes.
confirmed.
Fortunately, none here. So, but anyway, it was close. Okay. With that said, like, subscribe, share. Please hit that thumbs up. We're still at 8 thumbs ups. Come on, there's a lot. I'm looking over now. The views have gone up. Well, the concurrent views were over 100 for most of the show. So,
Nice.
we need more than 8 thumbs up from that. So, but that's fine. We appreciate you being here next Wednesday, 8 p.m. Hopefully, we got results from this weekend's polls. So, with that said,
Good deal. Adios.
thank you all. We'll see you next week. Don't forget, tomorrow night, 8 p.m., Midshore Pullers will be here, the Antique Pullers. See you.